Ever feel like there's more to a place than meets the eye? Well, today we're going deep, way back in time, to uncover the ancient history of Himachal Pradesh. You know, that region nestled in the Himalayas.
The lap of the Himalayas, they call it.
Exactly. And, we're going to be diving into its prehistoric rock paintings and all these incredible archaeological sites scattered all over the place. It's like stepping back in time, really.
Himachal Pradesh is like a time capsule, really. I mean, it's got traces of people from, well, prehistory right up to recent times.
So we'll be piecing together, I guess you could say, a picture of life, but from way before anyone was writing things down.
Right, that's right. Yeah, research articles, archaeological reports, that's our puzzle pieces.
Cool. What I find amazing is we're not just talking about some pretty pictures on cave walls, are we?
Nope.
These rock paintings, I mean, they're like a window directly into the lives of those prehistoric people living in the Himalayas.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. They weren't just decoration. Our ancestors were documenting their lives, their rituals, how they saw the world. It's incredible, isn't it?
It really is. And all with just like natural pigments, red ochre, charcoal, clay, and they've lasted for millennia, right?
Millennia. That's the incredible part. It makes you appreciate the skill, the effort that went into creating something so lasting, you know?
Definitely. And, I was thinking the choice of colors, maybe it wasn't just practical.
Oh, interesting.
Like I read that red ochre, it pops up in rock art worldwide,
Yeah.
and it often has like a symbolic meaning, like life, blood, rituals, things like that.
That makes sense. You know, it's a good point because we have to be careful about putting our own modern spin on these ancient works, you know?
Totally. So if we wanted to see these paintings, like the really captivating ones, where in Himachal Pradesh should we go?
Well, there are sites everywhere, you know, and each one is unique. Like in the Kangar Valley, you'll find these dynamic scenes, people moving, maybe they're dancing or hunting.
Rituals, maybe.
Could be. It gives you a glimpse into, their social life, daily activities.
It reminds us we're not looking at figures on a wall, we're looking at a community.
Exactly. Then you've got the petroglyphs of Lahal and Spiti. Now, these are carvings etched directly into the rock, and they often depict wild animals, spiritual symbols.
Like a message left behind, etched in time.
Exactly.
I read something interesting about Lahal and Spiti. The rock art there seems to, overlap with early Buddhist art.
Oh, yeah. That's a great observation. It's almost as if you have this merging of cultural influences, right?
Yeah. So maybe it wasn't a clean break from prehistoric beliefs to organized religion.
It really makes you think it points towards something more complex,
Great.
Cultural exchange, blending of traditions.
Amazing how much these paintings can tell us about how cultures and beliefs evolved over time.
And speaking of evolution, Himachal Pradesh also has a ton of archaeological sites. I'm talking temples, forts, even hints of settlements that could be connected to, get this, the Indus Valley civilization.
Wait, the Indus Valley civilization? Seriously? That would mean this area was linked to one of the world's earliest urban cultures. Wow.
It's amazing, right?
Okay, I'm hooked. Tell me about these sites.
Well, let's start with Malana. It's this picturesque village in Kulu district. It's charming on the surface, but underneath there's a whole other story.
What kind of story? Malana's known for its culture and traditions, sure, but what does archaeology tell us?
Well, excavations have turned up ancient pottery, tools, even inscriptions. It suggests this was once a major trading hub. But it gets even more interesting. The locals there, they have this legend. They say they're descended from Alexander the Great's soldiers.
Wow.
Supposedly, they settled there after Alexander's campaign in India.
Sounds like something out of a myth. Is there any truth to it?
Now, it might sound like a tall tale, but there's actually some genetic evidence hinting at a connection to West Eurasian populations. It could support the link to Alexander's army. But we need more research to be sure.
It's crazy to think this little village in the Himalayas could be connected to Alexander the Great. History is full of surprises.
It really is. And speaking of history and layers of history, we can't forget Kangar Fort, one of India's oldest forts. It dates back to the time of the Mahabharata. Think about that.
The Mahabharata. This fort has seen it all. Empires rising and falling, cultures clashing, centuries of history.
That's right. And you can see it on the walls. Inscriptions from different dynasties, glimpses into their rule, their perspective on the past. The Katak dynasty, for example.
It's like they each left their mark, a signature on the fort. What else can we find in those walls?
Remnants of Jain and Hindu temples, actually, which speaks to the diverse religious landscape of the region.
So many different faiths existing within the same walls.
Exactly. History's rarely just one story, one dominant culture. It's a tapestry.
A tapestry, I love that. And speaking of stories, what about those tales of hidden treasure? Every old fort seems to have them.
Of course. Kangra Fort did control key trade routes from Central Asia to India. Riches must have passed through those gates. Whether any treasure remains, well, that's a question for the historians and the dreamers, right?
It's a great question. The fort itself becomes the treasure, in a way, holding not just gold and jewels, but memories and secrets. Earlier, you mentioned Himachal Pradesh might be linked to the Indus Valley civilization. Tell me more about that.
There are sites, particularly in the Kangra Valley, where archaeologists have found pottery and beads that are very similar to the ones from Harappan sites, part of the Indus Valley civilization.
So it's more than just a passing resemblance.
It is. The style, the techniques, they all point to a connection, maybe trade or cultural exchange between Himachal Pradesh and the Indus Valley cities.
That's amazing. It changes how we see the reach of the Indus Valley civilization, and it raises all sorts of new questions about ancient India and how different regions were connected.
Exactly. It really shows how interconnected those ancient cultures were, even with vast distances between them.
Okay, you've convinced me Himachal Pradesh is going on my travel list. But before I book my flight, let's delve deeper into these ancient wonders. What other fascinating sites are waiting to be explored?
Well, how about we take a closer look at the Trilokanath rock edicts in Lahore? Imagine stumbling upon rock inscriptions etched in early Brahmi and Sharada scripts, deciphering messages from people who lived centuries ago.
Like finding a time capsule.
Exactly. They're full of clues about how Buddhism spread in the region. We learn about the Buddha's teachings, the monasteries, even the names of kings who supported Buddhism.
And they've survived all this time. It's incredible.
The power of the written word, right. These edicts, they let us hear the voices of people from the past connect with their beliefs and experiences.
History feels much more real when you think about it that way. So we have rock paintings, forts, inscriptions, and maybe even a link to the Indus Valley civilization. It's like peeling back layers of time. But the big question is, are there still hidden secrets out there in Himachal Pradesh? Have there been any recent discoveries?
Oh, absolutely. Archaeological work never stops, and Himachal Pradesh is full of potential. Just recently, archaeologists found rock shelters in Sharoon village with engravings of hunting scenes and solar symbols. They think these engravings are from nomadic groups who used those shelters as temporary camps near the Ravi River.
Wow. It's like every corner of this region holds a piece of the past, just waiting to be revealed. What about those high-altitude megaliths in Lahore and Spiti? Those giant stone structures have always fascinated me. What do we know about them?
They're incredible, aren't they? They're these circular stone formations way up high in the mountains. Something that could be ancient burial mounds or even astronomical observatories.
Wow, really?
Imagine thousands of years ago, people using these structures to track the stars, understand the cosmos.
That's blowing. It speaks to their ingenuity, their desire to understand the world around them.
Exactly, and we have the Archaeodolmens in Solon district too, stone chambers from the Iron Age.
So many possibilities. Burial sites, territorial markers. It seems like every time archaeologists dig a bit deeper, they find another piece of the puzzle, adding to the mystery of Himachal Pradesh's past. How do they even begin to solve these mysteries?
Well, it's not just digging and hoping for the best. They use all sorts of advanced techniques. Carbon dating, for example. Did you know charcoal pigments from the Lahore petroglyphs were dated back over 6,000 years?
6,000 years. It's hard to grasp how much time is represented in these discoveries.
It really puts things into perspective, doesn't it? And they use geomagnetic surveys, too. In the Kangra Valley, these surveys have actually revealed hidden structures underground, ancient water reservoirs, for instance.
It's like X-ray vision for history.
Exactly. And
Right.
with digital preservation techniques, we can create 3D models of sites like the Kangra Fort or the Masrur Temple. It's like stepping back in time.
Technology is changing how we uncover the past. That's amazing.
It opens up so many possibilities for research, for education, even for tourism. Himachal Pradesh could become a hub for cultural tourism trails. Imagine that.
That's a fantastic idea. Trekking through the Himalayas, not just for the scenery, but to see ancient rock art and explore the ruins of forts and temples.
Exactly. It would be like walking through a living history book. And then add in interactive museums with virtual reality experiences.
That would be an incredible way to bring history to life. But let's not forget the local folklore, the mythology. It plays a huge role in understanding these sites, too.
Oh, absolutely. The stories passed down through generations, they add a human touch to these archaeological sites. Like in the Rotang Pass, there are legends about prehistoric tribes who used to paint their gods on the rocks to appease mountain spirits before they dared to cross.
It shows how much respect they had for nature and the power they saw in the landscape.
Exactly. And the tales surrounding the Sujanpur Tira rock carvings, they're thought to depict scenes from the lives of Katok kings, a blend of history and legend.
It's like adding color to a black and white photo.
I like that analogy. And then in the Pengi Valley, the ancient carvings there, they're considered sacred. People believe they offer protection from avalanches and landslides.
It shows just how deeply their lives were connected to nature, how much they believed in those ancient symbols. Sadly, though, all this rich history, it faces some serious threats, doesn't it?
That's the unfortunate truth. Natural erosion, human activities, lack of awareness. It's a constant battle to protect these treasures.
What kind of challenges are they facing specifically?
Well, the harsh weather up in the high-altitude regions, it can damage petroglyphs and carvings. Plus, urbanization and deforestation are encroaching on ancient sites.
It's a reminder that we need to be proactive in protecting these pieces of history. It's a shared responsibility. Experts, local communities, tourists, we all have a role to play.
Absolutely, we all have to work together.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to hear from you, our listener. What stood out to you the most so far? What has really captured your imagination? Is the rock art? The stories whispered by those ancient forts? Or the possibility of uncovering more secrets?
Hold on to those thoughts, because in the next part of our deep dive, we'll be exploring some of these ancient wonders in even more detail.
Back again for more ancient secrets of Himachal Pradesh. We will uncover some fascinating stuff about the region's rock paintings and archaeological sites, right? It's like piecing together a giant puzzle.
And we can't forget, we're not just talking about facts and figures here. We're talking about real people, people who lived and breathed and created, people who left their mark on this world.
Yeah, exactly. So let's zoom in a bit, shall we? Let's talk about those rock paintings. We mentioned those hunting scenes. But what can we really learn from them? I mean, beyond the obvious.
Well, they give us clues about the tools they used, the techniques, the animals they hunted. We even get insights into, maybe, their beliefs about the spiritual side of hunting. Like in the Kangaroo Valley, you see these paintings of hunters with bows and arrows, sometimes working together in groups. It tells us something about how they hunted strategically.
Yeah, and about their social organization. They had to cooperate to survive, right?
Absolutely. And then there are the animals themselves. Deer, ibex, even tigers.
Tigers?
Yeah, it shows us how rich and diverse the ecosystem was back then. It wasn't always the same landscape we see today.
So these paintings are almost like ecological records.
Exactly. And sometimes you see abstract symbols painted alongside the animals, maybe representing that spiritual connection they felt with the natural world. It adds a whole other layer of meaning.
Right. We've talked about the pigments they used, red ochre, charcoal, clay. Do you think those choices were just practical? Or was there more to it?
Good question. And there's still debate about that. You know, red ochre, in many cultures, it's associated with life, with blood, even rituals.
Right.
So it's quite possible those colors had symbolic meaning too, not just practical.
Like they were capturing the essence of the hunt, not just the physical act.
I think so. And it's a good reminder that we're looking at these paintings from a modern perspective. There's so much we might not fully understand about their true meaning.
That's a good point. Okay, let's shift gears a little. What about the Shivalik Hills? We talked about those rock shelters, the ones that might have been living spaces or ritual sites. What makes them so unique?
Well, they offer a glimpse into, the day-to-day lives of these communities. You find carvings and paintings, not just of animals and hunting, but of people too, doing all sorts of things.
Like what?
Oh, maybe dancing, cooking, making tools, who knows? It's like we're looking into their homes.
Their everyday lives.
Right. And the fact that some were maybe used for rituals, it blurs the lines between the sacred and the everyday. It suggests their spiritual beliefs were a part of everything they did.
Fascinating. Okay, let's move on to something a bit more, grand. The Kangaroo Fort. We talked about its layered history, but what are some details that really bring it to life?
Those inscriptions on the walls, they're really something. They're like signatures from different eras. We have inscriptions from the Katok dynasty, for example, that tell us about their rule, their view of history.
It's amazing how those inscriptions have survived so long.
It is. It's like a direct link to the people who live there. And then you have those remnants of Jain and Hindu temples within the fort. It shows how diverse the religious landscape was.
So many different beliefs coexisting.
Right. And of course, we can't forget the stories of buried treasure. Always a good one.
Every old fort has those stories. Do you think there's any truth to them?
Well, Kangra Fort was a key point on those trade routes between Central Asia and India, so who knows? Vast riches must have passed through there. Whether anything's left hidden, well, that's part of the mystery, isn't it?
It is. The fort's like a treasure chest itself, holding not just gold, but memories, secrets, stories. Speaking of stories, earlier you mentioned those Trilikanath rock edicts in Lahore. Those inscriptions in Brahmi and Sharada script, they sound important.
They are. They're like historical documents carved into the rock, telling us about the spread of Buddhism in the region, the Buddhist teachings, the monasteries, even the kings who supported the faith. We get names, details.
It's like reading a first-hand account of that era.
You could say that. They give us a window into a world that we might have otherwise lost completely.
These sites, they're more than just pretty places to visit. They're full of knowledge, tangible connections to the past.
It reminds us that these weren't just empty stones and buildings. They were places where people lived, worshipped, created their own stories.
Okay, so earlier you mentioned that Himachal Pradesh might have connections to the Indus Valley civilization. What kind of evidence is there to support that?
Well, in some places, like in the Kangra Valley, archaeologists have found pottery and beads that look very similar to what they found in Harappan sites, part of the Indus Valley civilization.
So is it just that they look similar? Or is there more to it?
The style, the techniques used, they all suggest a connection, maybe trade, maybe cultural exchange.
Wow. So Himachal Pradesh could have been part of a larger network, connected to those bustling Indus Valley cities.
That's what it seems like. It changes how we see the reach of the Indus Valley civilization. It adds another layer of complexity to the story of ancient India.
It really shows how interconnected those ancient societies were, even across long distances.
You've got it. It's not just isolation, it's interaction and exchange. It's fascinating.
It is. It seems like every discovery makes the story of Himachal Pradesh's past even more intriguing, more complex. But are there still secrets out there waiting to be discovered? What about recent discoveries?
Oh, definitely. Archaeology is always uncovering something new, and Himachal Pradesh keeps surprising us. Just recently, they discovered those rock shelters in Charun village. With engravings they think are from nomadic groups. They show hunting scenes, solar symbols. It gives us a glimpse into the lives of people who moved through these landscapes.
It shows that the story of Himachal Pradesh is still being written.
Exactly. And then there are those incredible high-altitude megaliths in Lahore and Spiti, those circular stone formations way up in the mountains.
Those have always fascinated me. What are the theories about what they were used for?
It's still a mystery, which makes them even more fascinating, right? Maybe they were ancient burial mounds, maybe observatories for tracking the stars, or maybe something else entirely.
It's incredible to think about the people who built them, their ingenuity.
They wanted to understand their place in the universe, connect with something bigger than themselves. And we can't forget the Archaeologicals in Solon district, those Iron Age stone chambers, another piece of this long, diverse history.
Right. Every discovery adds another thread to the story. It's a richer, more detailed picture of Himachal Pradesh's past.
Exactly. And it's not just about looking back, it's about making connections to the present. We're linked to those people who came before us, you know?
That's a great point. So as we head into the last part of our deep dive, let's think about what these discoveries mean for us today. How can they inspire us to appreciate human creativity, resilience, that connection between history and the world around us?
We've covered a lot, but there's always more to discover. This journey through time, it's just beginning.
And we're back, ready to wrap up our deep dive into those ancient secrets of Himachal Pradesh. We've been on quite a journey, haven't we? Rock paintings, grand forts, mysterious megaliths, stories carved in stone.
It's been fascinating, but it makes you think, doesn't it? What do all these discoveries mean for us today?
Yeah, it's tempting to think of archaeology as something, from the past, not really relevant to our lives now. But I think that's missing the point completely.
I agree. It's like we've been saying, this isn't just about dusty old artifacts. This is about understanding ourselves, the human story.
Right. These remnants, whether it's a handprint on a cave wall or the ruins of a fort, they speak to something deeper, don't they?
They really do. It's the human spirit. Creativity, resilience, our ability to adapt, to build, to connect with something bigger than ourselves.
And those rock paintings, for instance, they show us how connected our ancestors were to nature. It's something we often forget in our modern world.
It's true. Their lives depended on the environment. It's a good reminder that we're not separate from nature, we're a part of it.
Yeah, we have a responsibility to protect it. What about those archaeological sites, like Kangra Fort? They tell a different kind of story, don't they?
They do. The rise and fall of civilizations, the shifts in power, the mixing of cultures over time. It's a reminder that nothing stays the same forever. Change is constant. But new things emerge from those changes.
And what about those mysterious megaliths, those high-altitude puzzles? What do you think they're trying to tell us?
They make us curious, don't they? They make us question what we think we know and embrace the mystery. That drive to learn, to explore, it's part of what makes us human.
It's like our ancestors are challenging us to figure out their story. And in doing that, we learn more about ourselves. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want you to remember this. Those ancient secrets of Himachal Pradesh, they're not just buried in the ground.
They're woven into the landscape, into the very fabric of the region, waiting to be discovered. Not just by archaeologists, but by anyone who's willing to look closer, listen, and make those connections to the past.
Imagine walking through those Himalayan forests, the air is crisp and cool, and you come across a rock face covered in ancient paintings.
Or picture yourself standing inside Kangra Fort, feeling that weight of history all around you.
Or maybe you're looking up at those mysterious megaliths, just feeling awestruck by their presence. Those experiences are out there, waiting for you.
So go explore, ask questions, let those echoes of the past guide you on your own journey of discovery.
Who knows what you might find? Maybe you'll uncover a secret or two yourself.
Thanks for joining us on this incredible deep dive into Himachal Pradesh. It's been a real pleasure exploring these ancient secrets with you.